I'm back. Just going to wait a minute. A little bit embarrassing then situation. I don't know who's just joined us, but I do apologise for that. Good morning, Michael Davis. Welcome to the Saturday morning live with Johnyboy, supported by those nice guys at ITS. We've got to say a big thank to the ITS guys, simply because they are always there for us, and they are giving away that Trent storage box. Welcome back. Adam knows what this is like when you're doing these live streams, the difficulties that you have, that you incur when basically everything goes wrong. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just trying to get... Can you hear me? That's why I want a big thumbs up to say that you can hear me. Trying to get this going here now. Make sure that's on. It's not that one. Not that one. See if you can... I don't know if... There we are. If I could have a thumbs up, or if somebody could just tell me if you can hear me, because as per usual, I'm having a bit of a technical problem with the sound. Mic's not on. Can you hear me? Oh, big thumbs up. Great, there we go. Thanks very much, Steve Burrows, Kent Gardening, DH Garden Services, Rob Fire, thanks very much. Ian Watson, sounds good, good. Do you know, I haven't even got the microphone on, so it sounds good. So big thanks to the iPhone. Steve M, morning, loud and clear. Thank you, that's what it's about. Really appreciate your support. Isn't it the case that we all need support from time to time? So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. Phil Shaw, I'm absolutely fine, mate. Adam Lister says, welcome back. We know Adam Lister from the group. Steve Burrows, Kent Gardening, Rob Fryer. Maybe we get John Ward back on. I do apologise if you've... They were back. Hi, John. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a problem there. We have got a caller coming in soon. We got a caller coming in. We got Dan Shadrach Dawson. What a name. What a mouthful. But he's a cracking guy. No, it's no but. It's a wonderful day. Dan's coming to join us. I'll just get rid of that there now again. Dan's going to be joining. Dan runs a company called Proctors Nursery in Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire. And I want to talk about plants a little bit this morning. But anything else that you want to talk about, it's not just about the plants. I had a comment just a little while ago, and everybody's entitled to the comments. He said, I'd leave it to the gardens. And that's absolutely fine. How important is plants in the garden? What's your thoughts on resin driveway? I'm thinking about it. Well, do you know, Ian, this is what it's about. I love this. This is great. Resin driveways. Need to chat, lads, updates on expansion joints in patios over 8 metres. Good point. Good point. Resin driveways. When people come up with a comment, as John did then as well, anyone got any suggestions where I can get my hands on it, on Ledbury screens, folks? I don't know what that is. It'd be interesting. Morning, John. Again, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew Ashford. Resin and expansion joints. Plant, says Gareth. Yeah, make the garden. Yeah, absolutely. Well, resin. They changed their whole approach on how they installed. Radical changes, I might add, and some of them wouldn't necessarily admit it. Okay. They wouldn't admit it, but there was radical changes on resin driveways. And what they've done now is that they've gone back to a base coat, whereas you'll see a lot of guys out there laying resin over tarmac, laying the top coat, laying it over concrete. And people say, does it work? But I think... correct me if I'm wrong, but resin has a porosity value so that water will go through, and that's why they use those big base coats. But you've got to remember, when the water's going through that top coat, that resin coat, when it's going through, it'll run off into the drain, some of it, but some of it's going to go through because it has a porosity value, resin does. So when it goes through and runs through, it's got to go somewhere. That's why they're using the base coats now. It's a bigger aggregate. It goes down in the ground, and then what happens then? You've got to think about whether that volume can accommodate your water. You will find that the councils, local authorities are very concerned about runoff and the water basically running off the drive down on the roads. It can be problematic, and especially in areas where they don't expect the water because they've designed the roads, the civils, to throw the water off in certain areas, and all of a sudden you've put a new surface in and then that water starts running down onto the road. Yeah, it's got the first dibs at quarries now. Yeah, here we go. Shortages on everything: wood, cement, sand, blade. We'll end that. We'll end that. We don't want the call coming in on that call. Dean Wood, good morning, Dean. How are you, mate? The other question, the other comment, not question, was John was talking about expansion joints in patios more than 8 meters. Well, this is something that we talked about at Bal Adhesives probably a couple of years ago now, is that when they were talking about porcelain paving installation, about those expansion joints in concrete. And I think it's a must. I really do think it's a must. But there's ways of avoiding the cracking, and the ways of avoiding the cracking in the patio is: one, do you do a wet pour and then lay your paving, and then you need to put steel in it, then it becomes expensive, or whether you use a lean mix, but you still get expansions. So you've got to think about this, because you will get ground movement, you will get soil expansion, and it does happen. People don't realize the amount of soil expansion that you can have in any garden, because what happens is that once you start putting that patio area down, okay, once you've done that, you're pushing the water into the rest of the garden, and the rest of the garden then has got to accommodate that new amount of surface water. So for example, if you've put 50 square meters of water of patio, you're going to get 50 square meters amount of water that normally falls in that area, unless it's going down into the storm drain, that's going to start pushing back into the garden. It's going to change the environment of what was there before. So if you have a nice lawn and it was a little bit clayey, now it's going to be, and it's a bit sort of squashy underfoot, it's going to become a little bit more as well. So we're opening a can of worms by talking about that at the moment, but we will cover things as we go. Kent Gardner says, no shortage of cement in Kent, but our suppliers are limiting the numbers, not an issue getting what I want. That's good to hear. Michael Davis says, 2 local merchants have no cement. Josh Johnson says, hi John, love plants, climbers and fences and wisteria, etc. Love it. Do you know, this is the thing that I was actually talking about for some time now, is that it's so important. We got Dan calling at 1:45, so I've got to get ready for that call. But it's so important when you've landscaped that garden. And tell me, what's your thoughts? Is it the responsibility of the customer, the responsibility of the landscaper? As landscapers, when we're offering our service, if we are offering a hard landscape service, that's absolutely fine. But what we have to be mindful of is that if we are putting some hard landscape product in, I think it's important that we have to think of raised beds and planting pockets to accommodate planting, because planting is so important. Your garden will, if you are a consumer that you're watching now at the moment, your garden will look like a car park. And as per usual, I will tell a little story, okay, of this situation, of where it once occurred. So Rob, many years ago to me, my client, it was at the Welsh Valleys. Phil James. It was at the Welsh Valleys, and I carried out the brief to a T. I did exactly what he was actually looking for in his garden. I built the block walls. I put the foundations in, and they were big block walls, and I dug out the area, and we were getting ready for turf to put in. We were going to have some grass in there and a small patio. But when he arrived back one day, before we started getting on with the patio and the turf in, he looked at this garden, and it was all straight lines, A to B. If that's your thing, that's absolutely fine. I'd done exactly what he said, but his words, I'll never forget. He stood, he looked, he was in shock. He took his glasses off like this. I can see him now, and it's no joke. And he went like this. He went, John, it looks like a car park. And it did look like a car park. It did at that point. But then he thought about plans. And for me, from that day onwards, my approach to what I was offering clients customers, potential consumers, my approach actually changed. So now when I go into a garden, I think about vistas and focal points when I first come in. It's probably the most important thing that you're going to have in a garden. You've got to remember, when we walk around, we don't walk around with our heads down. We're not looking at what we've laid in general. We're looking at vistas and focal points. We're looking at eye level. Eye level is so important. Vistas, things that we create. So we need to see that. We need to think about softening those fence lines up. Just going to read what Kent Gardening says there. Shortage of materials are due to the perfect storm of increased domestic and commercial demands. People aren't going on holiday and so have money to spend. House building is up. You have the bigger infrastructure and jobs. Gareth Williams, Manchester says, can we talk about customers' expectations when calling for a quote? Yeah, we can. I think the thing is, Gareth, I think we need to identify our clients' expectations, because what they probably want, they see us as the professionals. And if there is consumers watching this at the moment, when your contractor arrives, sometimes it might be a good idea to maybe take a few notes and give those notes to your contractor. Your contractor, sometimes when they arrive, they're told exactly what's required from the customer. And on some occasions, they want your ideas because you're the professional and you've been doing it day in, day out. I've heard these are shortage materials for has build well, and also not how true it is. Yeah, there are shortages in product. So what we were answering Gareth's questions there. It'd be a good idea if the client's brief was outlined when you arrived. It would help you, because when you turn up sometimes on those projects, initially the client will say, they'll tell you exactly what they want, but then they will want your advice. They want your feedback. They want your enthusiasm, your passion, and your gusto. And basically, they've got to let you off the reins and then pull you back if they feel that they're going too far. What do you think of Marshall's putting up prices by 6.5%? Well, I just really think that everybody's put their prices up across the board. Even now, if you're going to be booking a holiday and going to those places that are open, it's going to be a sky high. I think at the moment, I personally, for Alison and I, and as a family, we are going to sort of stay calm. We're going to stay at home this year. We'd like to get out and see our daughter. Our daughter lives in Dubai. We'd love to go and see her. And if we can, towards the end of the year, we will, okay? But I think at the moment, with this current situation, I just think it's just good to stay calm and probably put the money back into the marketplace being the UK market. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. But what we're talking about, expectations, here we go. We've got a caller coming in. Bear with me one sec. I will answer everybody's questions. Hello?
Hello, John.
There he is. I love it, Dan. Dan Dawson from Proctors Nursery. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live with Johnyboy. How are you?
I'm not bad. Not bad. A bit wet, but, we need a bit of rain, but not too much.
Dan, for our viewers watching now, and I hope they can hear you, can you just paint a picture of where you are right now and just what you're doing now? Don't tell us about the company at the moment. Just tell us what you can see. You're outside now in the tunnels, are you?
No, I'm just in the distribution centre.
Right.
All I can see is a mountain of cardboard at the minute.
Right. Dan, I hear there's before we get on to who you are and what you do, I hear there's a shortage of cardboard at the moment.
There is, and we've actually, we've got too much now because we had to decide to get the order delivered.
So you had to get your order in now to secure those big orders, to make sure that you had enough, of course.
Yeah, there's 6 weeks plus delay on cardboard.
Yeah, Dan, some of our viewers now, they're watching, they're actually talking, they have concerns about cement and wood, and somebody just said about Marshall's putting their prices up 6.5%, but that's enough of that. Tell us who you are, Dan, where you're from, and what you do.
Well, I'm Dan Dawson from Stoke on Trent. Proctors Nurseries, and we're a nursery in Staffordshire. And we go to flower shows. We've got a nursery, and we do online as well.
Yeah, Dan, I got to just jump in there. You just don't do flower shows. I think you've won at some of these RHS shows in the past, haven't you?
Yes, we've got medals,
Yeah,
and all sorts at shows.
Yeah, let's not just talk it down. You've done really well at the flower shows because your plants are second to none, aren't they?
Well, we think so.
Well, I think so as well. So, Dan, you just talked about the distribution centres there. So, how do you sell your plants? Do you have people coming in, or is it online? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we have got a retail side where you can visit and pick up the plants and see them in person.
Right.
Or you can order them online and we'll distribute them out of here in boxes.
Yes.
Next day or 48 hours, they'll be with you.
Right, so you've got the area that I visited is the nursery itself, but then you've got the retail centre. Where's the retail part at?
It's at Brown Edge, that is.
Brown Edge in Stoke on Trent, and I've been there, and they've got quite a range of different types of plants, from evergreens to herbaceous perennials to climbers to bamboo, topiary. They got everything there, haven't they?
Everything.
Yeah, and so at the nursery, you've got the distribution. And where would they go if they were looking for? Do they go to a website? Is there a shop? Where is it, Dan?
Yeah, if you visit the website and go to the shop on there, we've also got Plant Finder on there where you can, have a look at the types of, if you need something for a wet area, shady area.
Okay, Dan, you seriously, right? You're not talking this up enough now. I've been to your nursery. You've got hundreds of thousands of plants, haven't you? Hundreds of thousands.
There's about 14 acres.
There we are. Hey, and look, later on, do you think you could send me a picture, maybe just looking across the tops of the plants? Because when I was there last year with you, wasn't it? Was it last year?
Last year, yeah, you came visitors.
Last year. And one of the things that I was just totally amazed by is the amounts and the volume and the vastness of the colours when you have one variety, rows and rows of the varieties of the geums, of the echinacea, of the sal. How many salvias have you got there, Dan? In salvias? Because let's talk about the salvias, the hot lips. Can you?
Hot lips?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a few thousand hot lips at the minute.
Right, okay.
And we've got salvias. There must be 20 different varieties we've got at the minute.
How many?
About 20 different ones, I would say.
And what's the most popular salvia that you've got? What's the most popular one that's going out online or from the plant centre? Is the hot lips? Is that one of the favourites?
That's one of the favourites at the minute, but Amistad is a very good one.
Amistad.
Amistad.
Can you remind?
Like a bluey purple.
I know. So, is there a colour that's trending this year, Dan? Is there do people like the red in the garden, or what colour is the Amistad? Tell me a little bit about that one.
The Amistad's like a blue, but it's not blue. It's more purple.
Right. Okay.
But people love that because it's just long-lasting flowers, and even where the flowers are, like the buds, that when they've spent, they still look nice.
Yeah, Dan, let's not underestimate the value of a salvia. It's a plant that fills up those gaps, and you get a lot of volume. You get good value for money with your salvias.
That's it. Especially hot lips. It's more like a shrub.
It's more like a shrub. What should I have done? Oh, we got Dean Wood on here, Dan. Dean's a plants person, a plants man, or plants person, I should say. It's need purple and almost black sepals. It's an incredible plant, Dean says. Grows much bigger than hot lips. Now, there we are. We got some information coming in from a real gardener and garden designer there. Dan, how important is it for plants to be in the garden? Come on, how important is it? Is there nothing worse when you see a garden that's all paving and wood and no plants?
it's like having a garden, and with no plants, it's naked,
Yeah,
and you've got to dress it.
absolutely.
If you dress it and soften them edges, they'll all be lovely.
Yeah, Dan, these salvias, tell me, maintenance, what do we need to do with them? Because Dean loved that. He says, well said. What do we do with plants, with the salvias? Because, you know, look, we can plug Proctors Nursery all day long. I think your service is absolutely brilliant. But what we're talking about, like Dean is talking now, is Dean says plants are a foundation of a garden. You know, what would you have first? Would you have a patio or plants?
Sorry, plants.
What would you have first? Would you have a patio or plants in your garden?
Say again, John.
Yeah, what would you have first? If you had a choice, what would you have? Would you have a patio, or say you could go down, you could spend X amount of budget on a patio or plants? What would you have first?
Oh, I'd have lots of plants.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so important. And the thing is, how it's so important, the plants for the birds, the environment, you know, the pollinators. We need it, don't we? We need it. You know, I am guilty of building almost like those sterile contemporary gardens. And I've built one recently, but what people don't see is that we are going to be planting that garden up. We're going to have a whole range of plants, some in pots, some in the ground. But we have to recognise, don't we, Dan, that it's so important to get some colour, some softness in the garden, doesn't it?
Yeah, soften them edges up. Them edges can be sharp on the eye.
Yeah. Dan, through the distribution parts now, you said, is it the salvias that are going out at the moment, or what's the most popular one at the moment?
Currently, Salvia Hot Lips is a good seller at the moment.
Right, okay.
People are loving that one.
And next to that is the other salvia. What other plants are actually going out at the moment? What's the plant when you're packing and you think, oh my God, there's more of these going out, you know? And what makes people buy those plants, Dan? Do they see stuff online, or what? What makes them choose the plants?
Well, Gardener's World. They love watching Gardener's World and then buying the plants after.
Do you get like an influx of like, you know, plants, of types of plants after Gardener's World, or do the sales go up, or what?
Oh yeah, the sales rocket after Gardener's World. If we've got a plant that's on there, they rocket.
Yeah, we've got a question from Dean Wood. Dean says, do you sell much Euphorbia polychroma, Dan? Euphorbia polychroma. I don't even actually know that one, but I'm going to see if I can get that up. Euphorbia polychroma. I wonder if Alice can get that on the computer for me. What's that?
It's on my laptop.
All right, you can get it. Yeah. One sec, Dan. Alison's creeping in the undisclosed location now. There we are. Here we go. Dan, so Dan Wood said, so maybe you want to write that one down, because Dan's, Dean says, Euphorbia polychroma. Dean, if you can send me a picture of that later, and I'll forward it on to Dan. But you do sell lots of Euphorbia, don't you?
Yeah, at the minute we've got Euphorbia Tas Tiger, which is a cream and green, which is quite nice. Okay.
And what's that one called?
Tasmanian Tiger.
Tasmanian Tiger. Did you hear that, Dean? Tasmanian Tiger. He's coming up with a few more here. This is great. Dean says there's another one here, Dan, called Euphorbia epithymoides, I think it's called. Could, of course, John. Yeah, I can. Do you know, it's funny, Dan, some of these Latin names are difficult. Do you think when people place their order or they make inquiries with you, Dan, do they tell you the common names, or do they come up with the Latin names?
They can come up with a right made-up name. That doesn't mean any of them.
Absolutely. You must... Well pronounced, says Dean there. Dan, look, we're talking about plants now at the moment, right? How busy are you at the moment generally on now in comparison to last year?
Well, everyone's visiting the centre.
Right.
Online sales are up still.
Okay.
But on everyone's planting at the minute. Everyone's growing for themselves.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Dan, I got to tell you this. I went into my local garden centre the other week, and the lady said to me that in the 1 week they made more sales in 1 week than they did in the whole month.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible that the amounts of. I'm just having a look at this picture of this plant that Dean has sent. Yeah, let me see if I can just show that. Alison will go absolutely crazy. Dan, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if you're watching the live stream at the moment.
Yeah.
So there we are. That's the picture that young Dean is sent of the euphorbia. Can you see that now at present, or is there a delay?
See that?
Yeah.
We haven't got that one in.
I haven't got that one in. Right, okay. All right. So, look, right, what I was going to say, Dan, so apart from the salvias, right, what other things are people planting in their gardens now at this early stage? And is it too cold to start planting? What's your opinion?
It is a bit cold for dahlias, and people are buying dahlias, but it's still very cold.
Still very cold.
We're still getting morning frost.
Yeah, we are. And certainly where you are up in Stoke in that area, you do get it. You're in a bit of a frost pocket, aren't you? I think you said before.
Oh, it's cold here.
Yeah. But Dan, this week, in the morning, Alice and I are always out walking the dogs in the morning, and there was frost on top of the car and all down the windscreen as well. So if you were saying, do you think next week's going to be okay to plant because of the rain that we're having? Is it going to... It normally gets a little bit warmer with the rain, but it's been unseasonably cold, hasn't it?
I'd give it a couple of weeks because it's been really unseasonably cold, and we had a late frost last May, and it scorched all the Christmas trees. All the new foliage was gone. It's like in France at the minute they've lost the vineyards.
Have they really?
The frost there. Yeah.
And those Christmas trees that you were talking about, are they going to be okay because they've been burnt? Will they recover?
Yeah, but they go into something like a survival mode.
Yeah.
And they just try to bud as much as they can. So it does a good thing in a way, but it doesn't in another way.
Right, okay. So, look, Dan, have you got many orders going out this morning? Have your orders come in on your online shop? Have they come in this morning, or are they coming out through the day? So I'm just, when I come to see you, Dan, I was just absolutely amazed how you run things there in the organisation, and when the orders come in, and what do? You put the plant in the bag first, then you put the sticks in it to protect it, and then the cardboard box, isn't it?
That's it. All the boxes are designed to the pots, so they fit nice, and there's no movement.
That's
within
right.
The box.
Do you know, Dan, this is so important. So what Dan's talking about then, so when if you're putting two plants in a box, you've got certain box sizes, that the pot of the plant isn't going to move around, is it?
That's it. We grow in square pots.
Square pots.
So they fit in the box pot better.
Right. Does it make any difference whether you grow in a square pot or a round pot?
Say again, John.
Does it make any difference whether it's grown in a square pot or a round pot?
No, it'll fit in the box better.
Yeah, absolutely. So when your plants, do you get many damages or complaints about plants being damaged, or no?
We do, yes. Sometimes the couriers are a bit heavy-handed with stuff.
To be fair for them though, Dan, it's difficult when you've got all those products going out, and they have taken a contract with you to get your plants out there and looking healthy and looking good. But these things do happen, don't they? So what would you do with a customer who phones up and says, Mrs. Jones, it has to be a Mrs. Jones, I just plucked today out the air. She phones up there, it's Saturday morning, and I know that you don't necessarily want to be dealing with complaints on a Saturday, but she sends an email, and I know what you're like. You're going to answer the email. How soon could you get a plant back to her if it was justified, if the plant was bad and damaged?
Monday for Tuesday.
Monday for Tuesday. And people are generally happy with your service, Dan, at the moment? Is it a good service?
Yeah, it's good at the minute. The Royal Mail are coping with there's no backlog at the minute.
Okay. No backlogs with delivery, and all your stuff goes out with Royal. Why Royal Mail, Dan? Why Royal Mail?
Not all of it goes out with Royal Mail.
Right.
Small enough parcels go with Royal Mail, and the rest go with FedEx.
Right, okay. Dan, do you think that you could actually send me the details to so the shop is on the website, Proctors Nursery, isn't it?
It is, yeah. In Brown Edge.
Right, okay. And that's, so they can order the plants online through the website, can't they?
They can indeed.
Yeah.
They can indeed if you go on and have a look.
Yeah. Dean says, Dean Wood, you're going to like our Dean, Dan, because I think we're going to try and get him to the meetup in Proctors. He says square pots fit better and make raising plants easier, I found, in terms of logistic, but also they have more growing medium, particularly when round pots do. Oh, I see that. So more growing medium where that makes sense, doesn't it? You got more volume, I suppose, which is better for the plant. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Dan, can we get the details off you so we can actually share this in the description of your services at Proctors?
Yeah, it's proctorsnurseries.co.uk.
As simple as that. So I'll put that in the description. Dan, we've talked about it. We're going to have a meetup at Proctors probably in August. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be up there as well. I'm gonna be helping, and we're gonna probably lay on some sausages for. So if you're a landscaper, or even if you're a consumer and you want to know a little bit more about plants, I think we're gonna have not an open day, but we're gonna have a landscaping meetup, aren't we, Dan? And we're gonna have a bit of a laugh, aren't we?
We are indeed.
Yeah, Dean says he's going to share Proctors on his Instagram now. So, Dan, I hope I haven't spoke too much, but I'm just trying to help now to sort of get people to see. Is there anything that you want to tell us about Proctors before you go? Because, honest, I thought that we were going to talk about loads and loads of plants, but there's so many plants that you have up there. Like, there must be, you got like hundreds and thousands of varieties of plants, haven't you, Dan?
There's that many. We can't name them all. We can't remember them all ourselves.
No. Do you still, each day when you walk through the nursery, Dan, do you think I want to learn more, or it's just overwhelming, isn't it? All those plants. It must be like counting sheep at night time, surely.
You just have to learn them and get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Dan, listen, I got to say, it's been a pleasure having you on here, my friend, and I hope that sometime in the near future. Just got to tell our viewers that I went to see Dan last year, and unfortunately, I had lost all my video content. I had the pictures, but I lost video content of when I went to see Dan. It's such a great shame because it was a great couple of days. I really appreciate that visit, Dan, and I will be doing it again in the future. Say hello to the family for me, and say hello to Big Baz.
I will do.
All right, Dan. Thanks, bud.
All
Thanks
right.
for joining. You take care, bud.
Thanks, John. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, what a nice guy. That was Dan Dawson of Proctors Nursery in Stoke-on-Trent. I'm getting looked after at the moment. I get some cocktails brought into me. 27 live viewers. It's been a great live stream this morning. There's a few things that I wanted to talk about. A few things. A lot of people ask me about the benefits of a lean mix. He is Dean. He's a lovely fella. Is our Dan. He's a great guy and he's good fun. And believe you me, he's sharp. He really is. He's on the ball with things. He works really hard, and it's amazing the amounts of plants that they actually pack up there in one shift. It's incredible, and I think that a lot of the landscapers in the area that go up there, they just love going and visiting. If you ever get a chance, just go to their website, www.proctorsnursery.co.uk. Okay, here we go. So a couple of the questions I get asked about on a regular basis about a lean mix, and it was questioned the other day about I got to say that I was actually misleading people about lean mix. So my advice is to anyone who's actually watching these live streams now is just go on to Google and just type in benefits of a lean mix. So we have to do benefits of a lean mix. You'll have an absolute a copious amount of information about a lean mix, but there are benefits. So just get on there, have a look. It's all in the science. I'm not just making it up. I'm not some sort of Walter Mitty character. The other thing I got to say is if you are a landscaper and you want to be part of an installer scheme, there is a new scheme that we are helping to put together with BSW. They're the people that produce the IRO board or the ERO board, whatever you want to call it. And it's an accredited installer scheme, BSW accredited installer scheme, and that is out now. So you must have some public liability insurance, and you must have some references as well. So all will be revealed, but you can go to their website, which is www.bsw.co.uk. Is planning requirements to do a soak away in a drive now. Hi Johnny, it's in planning requirements to put soak away in driveways now. Yeah, absolutely, it is, John. And people got to think about when you're putting those driveways in. So much to cover, so much to talk about on these live streams. It'd be great. I just had a great idea. It'd be great. I've got the internet now, hurrah! But he's in the rain. Is our John that there in Birmingham? Yeah, it'd be great if maybe one day. Info on the walk, mate. Well, the walk in the wheelbarrow. Let me just talk about this. So the accredited installer scheme, if you want to be an accredited installer and you want to take some pride in your business, and you go out and see your customer and you can actually say, I'm actually an accredited installer with BSW. Lee Andy says, missed the first bit, but we'll watch back later. No problem, Lee, up there in Liverpool. Guys, yeah, get on the accredited installer scheme. There's nothing wrong with being a member of accredited installer scheme, simply because it speaks volume about you as a person and as a business. Daniel Hurley says, what is the required depth plant half standard Acer? Well, I'll tell you now, Dan, I can't give you a definitive answer on that, but depth of plants definitely will depend, in my opinion. I don't know if Dean is still watching, but when we look at plants and maturity, we look at the girth size. When you look at plants, don't necessarily look at the height, look at the girth size, because the girth will tell you how old that plant is. We got a few things coming in now. Can you recommend a particular type of porcelain stone for outdoor use on patios? You recommend sandstone supplies, one of your other videos. Look, I think when it comes to...
It's 34 watching, not 15.
Oh, I get some information coming in across the globe now. We've got a few people watching now. Just we're bouncing around it. Can I recommend any? Yeah, I do recommend Sandstone Supplies, because they're a family-run business and they are on the ball. But you've got to remember, you must check the products out. You must check the reviews. It's not, I use all different types of suppliers because I put the information in front of the customer. I help them to make the choice. Product knowledge is so important. We were talking about aces. I don't know if Dean is still watching. Dean, yeah, try plant in the same depth as it is the pot when it arrives. There's your answer. Same depth as the plant is in the pot, you can actually dig that. There we are. This is why I love doing what I'm doing, because we have people like Dean on here and Dan and John Ward that are able to talk about things that I don't sometimes have the answer for. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. Not knowing is good, because the fun thing is when you find out about things. Got to get my glasses on. Kev Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Kev Fitzpatrick. Do you know, for all of you are watching, and John Ward, Kev is just like you. He's such a nice guy. I'm going to start reading people's comments on here. Dan Early says, thank you, gardening. This is what these live streams are about. It's like television, isn't it? Good man, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late, Alison says. Depth of the root ball. Don't plant it deep Oxygen exchange at the surface is important. I love this. Do you know, I absolutely love what's happening here. Can you see what's happening on this live stream? Wouldn't it be great one day if we had 350 people? But then I'd be in a right mess. You know I get a mess as it is anyway now. Dean Wood said, yeah, try a plant the same depth. Michael Davis says, I've been on Marshall's Register 20 years. 20 years. Brilliant. Anne Kelly says, can you recommend a particular type of porcelain stone? And we just, that question, I would just go out there. I think that for me, personally, I think that a good Italian porcelain, we're using one at the moment, and I'm not kidding you, right? It is massively tough to cut. But there's the indication of how good the porcelain is. But we're cutting through it and it's looking nice. I'll share it. And if you want to just drop me a message, if you want to talk to me at any time whatsoever, either myself or my wife Alison, we'll be more than happy to take anyone's phone calls at any time at a reasonable hour. Okay, at a reasonable hour. I'd want to call in the middle of the night where you won't be able to call because the phone will be off. Took a loads of different calls this week. Tried to prepare the old bigger than the root ball needs. There we are. It's about growing space. Do we dig into the side of the hole so the roots can ingress into the side? Do we feed it, Dean? Do we feed it? Do we put some liquid fertilizer or a dry fertilizer? Or do we add, what do we add in that hole so the plant? Let's hear it from you, Dean. I want to hear what you have to say on that. It's good to have Dean on here. We're talking plants at last. Love it. Would you travel to Carmarthenshire to work? Luke Davis, no problem at all. I would travel anywhere, mate. Yeah. Luke, if you want to give me a ring, my telephone number is 07795 595 994. Yes, I would travel anywhere. We're down in Pembroke soon. That is my mum's part of the country as well. Dean said there's an opportunity to do augment your soil, the mycorrhizal, add feeds, etc. There we are. Do you know, I studied at Pershore, and I ain't kidding you, I forgot loads. You just got to keep going over it and learning. Every day is a learning. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that when we go into a garden, we got to think, the first thing I think of is what plants can I put in that garden? Dean, what tree? Dean Wood, tell me now, what tree would you put in a garden? What tree would you put in a garden? Tell me. I want to know what tree would you put in the garden. If you was going to put a tree in the garden, what's your favourite trees? Look, there's a lot of things coming in here. I love this. This is fantastic. Congratulations, Kev. Amazing news. What's he done? Oh, he's on this live stream. Is that what it is? I've got my phone, Screwfix. I got off my phone to Screwfix, can deliver my brushes and drop them off the gate, case the crack. No, I've heard it all. I'm not sure about that. I'm good, thank. Hope you're well. He's on here now. Neil Orton says, hi, John. Sorry, late. And had a clear gutters pouring in. Well, we got Neil on here. I'm not going to say what Neil does, unless he wants to say what he does. But we have been talking about the accredited installer scheme, so important. There are a number of views on this, John. Some say better not to add too much fertilizer to encourage the roots towards similar with staking. Now it's better not to stake if you can get away with it. Dean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like how you stake. Do you stake it at 45? I remember Duncan Coombs at Pershore talking about staking, talking about feeding, and I was always told by some gardeners is that treat them mean, keep them keen, and I don't know how true that is. Do they need some help? Small tree, yeah. Would you put, like, I always think, Dean, and I always talk about this, maybe a silver birch, Jacquemontia, Youngi, there's two varieties. They have a real white trunk. Put it into the corner of a garden, it will light it up, and then you can underplant with some perennial bulbs or some dogwoods, like some Castle Ringii, really bright red stems. There we are, we're back. Can we have a check there? We've lost a few people now. It's such a shame. I apologise for that, but we had a caller. I got to turn it to flight mode. I forgot. Got 12 thumbs up. Oh, there we are. Look, a lot of we got 10 there back now. Again, I apologise for that. When we have a call coming in, it just freezes. A tree that's suitable for the space. My favourite is Metasequoia, Glyptostroboides, but it's not small. No, it's not. That's a big one. Fantastic tree. Kent Gardening, I know you're on here now, but can you just explain can you give us the common name of the Metasequoia glyptus strawboids? That's a big old tree, isn't it? Yeah, fantastic. Dingwood says, work for sure. Betulus utilis are amazing, great for dark corners. Top tip is to clean the stems. Clean the stems. I want to know what you mean about that. Steve Burrows says Deanwood needs to be next week's caller. Very knowledgeable man. Yeah, absolutely. John Ward says we buy worms in boxes by us from garden centre professional supplies. They reckon their air disturb the feed, the soil, and get balance back. Do you know, John, I'll tell you a story now. I remember that when we moved into this new property, I was always concerned about good worm activity to get the organic matter going. The worms, they do an amazing job. And I phoned up a worm farm and I asked them, I said, do you think you can send me some worms? And they said, yeah, of course we can. They said, what it's for? And I explained that there was little worm activity in the ground and I wanted to get the ground nice and good, humus rich soil. And they said they would arrive. And I said, what do you mean they'll arrive? He said, worms, basically the eggs, you can get as many as 60 eggs on a bird's foot. So when the bird lands around, starts pecking that around, the eggs drop off and go into the ground. The worm, I never even believed that. How true that is, I don't know. Was he pulling my leg? Tell me, what's your thoughts? Dawn Redwood, thank you there, Kent Gardening. Hey guys, I gotta say, thank you very much for bearing with me with these live streams. Sometimes we do have technical difficulties, and that we are finding a way of dealing with this where we won't be having any more in the future, and we'll be able to share and stream on many social media platforms. I've lost now. There we are, I'm back there now. So just having a look now, Deanwood says literally you can clean the stems with a scrubbing brush, really brings the white bark out. Yeah, interesting. Dean, I'm going to take a picture later on of mine. Magnolias. Gareth Williams says about magnolias. Yeah, Magnolia stellata, Magnolia sulianjana. Fantastic. The white magnolia, what do you actually think of that star-shaped flower, Dean? John Ward says we had no worms at all in our garden. It was a new build. We looked at buying them. Kent Gardening says a brief story. I got one from off the fire pile at my schoolwork experience at a nursery because they said it was dead. I wasn't, it just needed feeding, and the water, it's about 45 feet tall now. Free tree, yeah, brilliant. Trees, we need more of them. Can we start by planting a tree in the garden? So important. Just have a read what Andrew Ashford says there. Really enjoyed the plant chat today. Give me lots to think about as I have areas set aside in the garden project for planting. Andrew, if you've got any more questions about plants, we'll try and get Dean on here next week as well. Robert Beatty says, I follow you on Instagram, but I've just discovered the channel, found it useful to refresh my memory as I'm laying Indian sandstone next week for the first time. Do you know, we talk, Dean, love the type of trees, catalpa, yeah, catalpa. I've got an Indian bean tree and it's absolutely wonderful. Forgot about it and had to remind myself of it. It's a beauty. John Ward says, there we are. You say about buying worms in a box. Dean Wood needs next week's caller. Very knowledgeable. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's been great having you. And as per usual, nothing ever goes exactly to plan. And that's the beauty about life in itself. Life isn't a plan. We just aim out there aimlessly and try and do our best, and we will get through it. Never give up. You know, just keep pushing forward, whatever you're doing. And if you have mistakes, best thing can ever happen to you is a mistake. Mistakes are good. It's how we learn. And when we trip, we fall, as long as we don't fall too far. Pick yourself back up and go again. That's what we need to do. Look, that's it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Just read what Andrew says, just to be polite. Some pics of progress, nearly laid, all sandstone now, thanks to watching your videos. No problem at all. There for you. Gareth Williams says, Joel, I started gardening because my neighbour gave him a cherry tree in 1996, mate. Dean Wood said he enjoyed that. I enjoyed having all of you on here, Dean. All of you. Thank you very much. Thank you, John Ward, as well. Really appreciate it. John, Gareth, just reading what you said. The walk is on. It's going to happen. The date will be coming soon. I just want it to warm up a little bit because I'd already walking with that wheelbarrow all the way to Manchester from South Wales when it's raining. We win, we learn, we never lose. Andrew Ashford, brilliant. Yeah, new build is awful. Turned over, topsoil spread over, all the same, and struggle for good earth. Yeah, we do. That's what we got to do to improve. We all got to improve. Look, that's it. Thank you for joining the live stream. Thank you to Dan Dawson of Proctors Nursery up there in Stoke-on-Trent. Really, really appreciate Dan joining us. If you are looking for plants, just go to his website, have a little look. It's www.proctors.co.uk. Just go on there and have a look. Dean, jump on there and have a look at some of the plants as well. Can we sponsor you, John? Put it on there. Yeah, we will. Hey, guys, before you go, I just couple of things before Alison wrote this out. I never seen it. She got a couple of notes. Just wanted to start off by very briefly mention, I should have been saying earlier, about my landscaper friend, Nicholas McCartney. Nick, if you are watching, and Michelle, would just like to say all the best for you guys. Nicholas McCartney is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful human being. And as it happens, he's a brilliant garden designer and a plantsman. And he's just got a lovely nature. And Michelle, they're great people. Nick's been through, he's been through hell, and he's been through hell and back. And I'm going to say it, and I always worry about what I say, but it's just got to be said. Nick has he's been on kidney dialysis for some time, and he's had a heart problem. And whilst he was in hospital, he caught COVID. He had a stroke whilst dealing with this heart problem and a dialysis problem. So we got to do a big shout out to Nick. I think I will be doing a post and sharing the link. There is a fundraising. I got to say to all you guys that are watching, we hear about charitable causes all the time, but this is one of our own. He's a landscaper, designer, plantsman, brilliant human being, fantastic husband to a wonderful lady. And we're going to help and try and support Nick. If anybody wants to help me in the future, we're going to be hopefully going up and putting a greenhouse up in Nick's allotment so Michelle can actually carry on the planting until Nick gets back to some sort of decent health. Andrew Ashford, I have to say, Andrew, I got a lump in my throat at the moment because we really think the world of Nick. He's one of our own. He's just been through absolutely hell. I got a list of things on here that he's been through, and I don't want to read it all out because I think I'd be in tears at the moment. We got to think of Nick, and like I said, if there's anybody else that needs some help with anything out there, just say, and we'll try and help you. This YouTube channel isn't about how-to videos. This YouTube channel isn't about my ego. This YouTube channel is about a portal to promote good dialogue and to help people. I want to help our Nick, okay? We'll have him on a live stream sometime in the future. Look, there's loads of things here, what he's been through. I'm not going to... This guy's been through hell and back again. It's unbelievable what he's been through. I want to help Nick. We're going to go out and put up his... We're going to go out and put his greenhouse up for Michelle and probably do something with the raised beds. If anybody wants to join me, even if it is for a couple of hours, it's in Oxford, okay? In the Oxford area. Details will be coming soon. But we are going to... No, thank you, Lee. We are going to share a link to this video later. I have to edit it later on the computer. I can't do it on the phone. I can't share the links on there. We'll put the links on there and we'll get it out there. Yeah. So, yeah, Nick, our Nick, I just a little bit stuck for words at the moment because it's just, you know me, I a bit of a motor mouth, and you know, and I get excited about things and talk about things. But Gareth Williams says, I will definitely give you a lift, John. Gar, and I know you would, mate, and I really appreciate it. Don't anyone commit to anything that you can't do. I perfectly understand that. There's no ifs or buts about it. I really appreciate that. But look, if we can help on our Nick, as I call him, he's a brilliant guy. And I'll tell you something now, he will give you some advice where it'll put you in a good place. Just thank you all for joining. So we're going to share the link. If you want to get up there, if you want to donate something, you can. Even if it's a £5, it'd be absolutely fine. It'd be good to have Gareth to come along. Scott Baker, you have chose your van colour yet? There you are, they're talking to each other. Love it, that's what it's about. Look, this channel is, as I said, it's about promoting good dialogue and building a community. And you can clearly see that it's growing week in, week out. It's getting bigger and better and more helpful as we go in. We will get it right with these live streams, okay? And just to let you know, we are opening a training facility. It's coming soon, hopefully, just to let you know. Yeah, the training facility's coming. So if you're thinking about you need some advice or some training, if it's in planting, designing, soil knowledge, or even if you want to get on there and come along and find out a little bit more about hard landscapings, etc., the training facility's coming. In the meantime, if you want to come and spend a day with me, I'd love to have you on site. We had Ryan the other week and Dean. Dean's coming back again, and Ryan is as well. And I won't be taking advantage of their help. We're going to do things in a different way. I'm going to explain that. So those guys will be returning to the job. It was great having them down there. And do you know what? I admired them with Dean and with Dan and Ryan when they come to site and just wanted to learn a little bit. Look, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys joining this morning. That's it. It's over. The live stream. The reason it's over because I can smell the bacon sandwich. Take care, guys. And the most important thing is if you can't say anything nice at all, just don't say it. Be nice. Be safe. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next Saturday. Take care, Gar. Take care, John. All of you. Kev Fitzpatrick. All the best, guys and girls. Don't forget mine. Any questions, drop us an email at info@greensoplandscapes.co.uk or give us a ring on 07795 595 994. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.